Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and DigPerspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $3.86 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off 2.3% in the last 24, but I'm not worried. I don't know about you. I'm getting very excited because Congress is coming back early September. Oh boy, I just see this as an opportunity to keep filling my bags, not financial advice. Bitcoin 109,000 plus, 4,400 for Ethereum. XRP back at the number 3 spot is 289. We're off 1.8 on the 24, and we're off 4% on the 7-day. Bitcoin's off 5% on the 7-day. Range of price for XRP is 284 to 297. So Mrs. Backup isn't home today. Yeah, she's working on location. So I may be looking in the couch cushions for a little XRP buy. I'm just loving it. Below $3. I mean, I feel like at some point not long from now, we're not going to see that opportunity again. That's just me personally. So I'm not worried about what my DCA is. I'm worried about getting enough of this stuff that that when it finally does go up, there is no worrying about like, gosh, I wish I had just gotten some more. That is like the worst thing because I could tell. Look, let me share this very quickly. When I first got into crypto back in 2017, I made my first buy around it was either September or October of 2017. But I was in the space prior to that looking and learning because I had no idea the difference between Bitcoin or Tether or Ether or XRP was Ripple at the time, right? But nonetheless, I had no idea about the difference of these technologies. I was trying to get my mind wrapped around it. I watched XRP go from 0.006 of a penny to 28 cents and didn't own any. I've never forgotten it. It's been one of the greatest missed lessons and opportunities of my life. And that's where I felt like, okay, well, then once I learned and felt as strongly about the position and what they're doing and my faith that they would get it done, and they certainly are at my house. But, for me, it was just a lesson that I'll never forget. Like I remember watching it go and do all of that. And then I bought in at 28 cents, right? 25, 28 cents. So, it's just one of those things that once you have that happen, then it's like, I'm not worried about like what my lowest DCA is. So I can, brag about it or whatever. Well, I bought my average is only at blah, blah, blah cents or whatever. I made my best buy. I think it was at 13 cents. 13 and 17 cents. I made really good positions in that spot because I had already experienced watching it go from 0.006 of a penny to 28 cents and then up. And I FOMO'd, and I've been FOMOing on this thing for the last 7, 8 years now. So it's an old hat to me, and I'm just trying to get my portfolio to the size I can get it before it's just out of my reach at some point. Caleb and Brown's a great place that you could do that. This crypto brokerage has come together with DAI and myself to give you an opportunity to open your free account today. And why would you do it? Well, this is why. This is what I've been waiting for since I got into crypto. No more worrying if I've been hacked. Why? If my transfers went through or if I set my market orders correctly. With Caleb and Brown, I finally have institutional grade custody for my XRP and a real person I can speak with anytime I need support. Try finding that somewhere else in this space. They've completely eliminated the fear of losing my assets or struggling with self-custody. Caleb and Brown is redefining what service should look like for everyday investors. This is a total game changer. There you have it. Click the link underneath the video or remember this, xrpwealth589.com. Very simple, xrpwealth589.com. Open your account today. You're going to love the level of service and security on that platform and access. Bitwise has filed an S1 with the SEC to launch Chainlink ETF. It just continues to build. Remember, the SEC is working right now to make sure that they streamline the process for filing and getting approved for ETFs. October is a deadline for a lot of the XRP ETFs that are waiting for approval that just got pushed back. Let's see what happens in October, because we should be very close to getting the Clarity Act passed as well. Now, with that being said here, Bitcoin's historical corrections, look at this, 42.9% pullback in 2012, and then later in 2012, 56%, 2013, 32.7, right? You know, just going on and showing all these deep pullbacks in 2016 to 86.9% pullback, right? This is a drawdown, right, on the market. We've all seen this in crypto. We've all heard this, the sayings, right? In order to get the big profits, you got to be able to stomach the big drawdowns, right? The big dips. And that's what we're talking about here. 2018, 83.6 drawdown, 60% plus drawdown in 2020, 21, 51.1%. So, these huge drawdowns are something to be aware of, because we see a lot of corporate treasuries now taking on crypto, Bitcoin, and other assets. And the question here is, will corporate treasuries be able to withstand those drawdowns on Bitcoin? It will take great discipline to not over-leverage a Bitcoin position to withstand any drawdowns in the market. If not, this could go very bad for them. This is what I'm saying, and it's not shade on Bitcoin. This is shade on crypto. Crypto does have this as a characteristic. But as we get legislation passed into law and utility starts to become the price driver of the market, then you start wondering about speculative assets like Bitcoin. If it doesn't find more everyday use case, this will be very dangerous. If in the corporate treasury position, they're borrowing and leveraging against that Bitcoin. If they over leverage to pass these drawdowns, they're going to get liquidated, and they could turn what was supposed to be a strategic positive to a negative. So I'm just throwing it out there that I want to see corporates beware, because they're trying to do these things as a net positive for the companies. So if they're going to do this, I hope they're very aware of that characteristic, right? And then here we know that, boy, something big is going on. Gemini's got their launch credit card out now, where you get 4% back in XRP. And Times Square is just blowing up with everything XRP, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely love seeing this. I know you do too. And how about this? All the world is a stage. Shout out to the GOAT and James Rule XRP as well. Ripple Swell will be held in New York at 30 Hudson Yards. Who's located next door at 50 Hudson Yards? BlackRock. The same BlackRock that's working to tokenize treasuries with Ondo Finance on the XRP ledger, but somehow people still believe that BlackRock won't launch an XRP spot ETF. Ray Charles could see that that's going to happen. I could tell you that. Government Blockchain Association report cites Ripple XRP in analysis of distributed ledger technology companies to support, you guessed it, FedNow. Shout out to Smoke Dog for this one. Where there's smoke, there's fire. There it is, Government Blockchain Association. And what did they say all the way back in 2021? Because FedNow is actually getting ready to pop off. This position will analyze the potential companies or distributed ledger, digital ledger technology that could support the FedNow initiative. And initiative will undertake a private partnership approach with U.S.-based entries. Very key points there. And what do you know? They cite XRP and Ripple. Isn't that special? I think it is, and I know you do too. Transaction tokens, Ripple, and stable coins. This is all the way back in 2021. And here we are today, about to see this market get set off with the legislation becoming law and bringing every financial institution into these new payment rails. Here's more evidence here just to seal the deal. Ripple and FIS and FedNow, Smoke Dog again highlighting the truth is here. FIS Open Payment Framework, FedNow, real-time payments, FedWire. What do we got here? International payments, SWIFT, correspondent banking, Ripple, Visa B2B. There it is. There it is. And you're going to use all these assets every day, and the U.S. government isn't going to want them. They're just going to use them in FedNow, but they're not going to want a big pile of them. Is that right? Oh, okay. Well, listen right here to the former CFTC chairman. Shout out to Christian Carlo. This guy is so smart.
Predict here right on your show, Zach, that by this time 10 years from now, 2035, if not sooner, there will not be a securities offering, debt, equity, municipal government securities that are not tokenized and on chain. And there'll be two reasons for that. One is because the demand will be from investors that want the ability to have direct access to their things of value, want to be able to collateralize their things of value, want to be able to invest in their things of value. But it'll also be supply driven. Issuers will finally be able to know who their investors are. Companies will be able to have direct privity with every one of their investors rather than going through proxy services and securities houses that then interface. So when they've got a proxy contest, when they've got a rights offering, when they've got some sort of new issuance, they can speak directly to their shareholders. So it's going to come from both a supply side and a demand side for this. This is happening. And for those, I recently attended, I know you did, I think we may have been at the same SEC roundtable a couple of months ago. And it was clear to me that Hester Peirce and Mike Seelig and Paul Atkins, they get it. But it's interesting how the securities bar still thinks that somehow tokenized securities are going to trade alongside traditional securities. No, there's going to be no more traditional securities in 10 years. Everything is going to be tokenized. That's the new world we're going to.
There you have it right there. The Honorable Christian Carlo. We're going into the Freedom Zone. I hope you will join us, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a good one today. We're going to get some stuff, especially if you've had the JAB. You're going to want to join us in the Freedom Zone. Make sure you click the link underneath the video. Join us in Patreon, YouTube, or on X. All the same price, all the same perks, all your daily videos with 0 Google ads. It's worth the price of admission. Click that link. We're about to go in right now and get started. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. Come on in.